Howdy folks, my name's Brent Bisgard, and I'd like to welcome you to my new channel, The 40-Year-Old Gamer. The reason I've decided to come up with this channel is I think that there is still a lack of great, high-quality content of video gaming. I was an early adopter of 4K technology, and it appears to me that there's still not very much out there in 4K gameplay. In addition to that, there's still not a lot out there in 1080p 60 FPS gameplay. So the goal for me is kind of twofold. One, I want to bring to bear high quality, high frame rate videos done at the highest settings that games can offer. And second, it's a bit of a nostalgia thing for me. Growing up, when we would play video games, and I've had consoles in my house since we had a Pong machine when I was very young. But after you get away from Pong, which was expressly meant for two people to play against each other, we start to get into the ColecoVision I had later, and beyond that, Nintendo and PlayStation, etc. Most games were single player, and if you had games that were for more than one player, in general, you weren't playing at the same time, cooperatively or otherwise. So what would happen is you'd have 4 or 5 people in a room, you'd have one person playing and everybody else watching. And that's kind of how I view it when I watch video games online. You would have certain people in your group that would be better at certain games than others. And there was some satisfaction that you could get in watching somebody play a game the way it was meant to be played. And I hope that that's something that I can deliver to you guys. I'm not going to be producing walkthroughs per se. What I will be producing for you are Let's Plays that are complete from start to finish. And when I use the word complete, I don't want to say that I'm a completionist, although I do strive to pretty much do everything in every game. The example that I would use here is the Assassin's Creed franchise. I would certainly get 100% sync on everything. I would certainly pick up all of the collectibles on the map. And I would also most certainly not be spending hours and hours after completing the game going back and trying to find feathers or flags, okay? That's kind of where I'm at. I think most people can understand that example. I love playing video games. I love playing every kind of video games. I will play first-person shooters, third-person open-world RPGs. That's kind of my favorite. You know, we're talking about Grand Theft Auto, Assassin's Creed, Watch Dogs, stuff like that. I love titles like that. But I'm also a big fan of turn-based strategy. I like real-time strategy. All that stuff. I love driving games. And I don't even play them a lot anymore. But there certainly is room for me to do some content with that stuff because I enjoy playing it. I enjoy playing it alongside other people, and I'm hoping that that's the relationship I can forge with you, the viewer, and that we can have kind of a back and forth, a dialogue, if you will, while playing these games. So that's a quick synopsis. The next video that you're going to get from me is the construction of the machine that I plan on utilizing to bring this content to you. So the last 18 months to 24 months, I would say, I have been thinking about this channel and what I would use. In fact, I'm now 42, so I'm no longer the 40-year-old gamer, I'm the 42-year-old gamer, although the concept has other meanings, and so we'll leave it at that. But the computer that I'm putting together, I have some specs right here just so I don't overlook anything, but I'm hoping that it will in every way be capable. And I think that you will agree with me that it will be in most cases. First of all, I'll start with the case I'm going to put it in. It's going to be in a Corsair Air 740. It's the updated version of the Air 540. The processor I'm going to have is an i7 6950X. Great processor. An Asus Rampage 5 Edition 10 motherboard. that's going to also be stocked with 64 gigabytes of Corsair Dominator Platinum DDR4 3200 megahertz RAM. The graphics card I'm currently going to be using is an Asus 1080 Ti Poseidon card, and I will get more into the reason why in a bit. The power supply is a Corsair AX1500i. The reason I'm chosen that is kind of, you want to stay, in my opinion, you want to stay low in the power band of the power supply. Some people disagree with me. I got a good price on it, and I think it's going to be doing what I want it to do. Storage-wise, the quick drive or the boot drive is going to be a 512 gigabyte Samsung 960 Pro SSD. It's the M.2 version NVMe. And then I'm also going to have a battery of 4 1 terabyte Western Digital Black 7200 RPM hard disk drives. And I haven't decided how I'm going to set that array up yet, but that's certainly also up for discussion. Cooling, I'm going to start out with a bunch of 140 millimeter Corsair Maglev fans. I have plans to move this to a liquid cooling build further down the road, and I'll hit on that in just a minute. And the first iteration of this build is also going to have an optical drive in it, purely because of the fact that the version of Windows I was able to get was far cheaper to get Windows 10 Pro on a disk than it was for me to get it on a USB drive. So it was actually cheaper for me to buy Windows on the disk and buy a drive to read it than it was for me to get it on a thumb drive. So as we move along, I have plans in the future, and I already have all the equipment, frankly, to move it to a liquid-cooled build. So what the air-cooled build that I start with, which will also, the PSU is also going to be cooled with just a stock Intel cooler, kind of like the ones that used to come with Intel processors. What I plan to do after that is to go ahead and move over to a black flex tube liquid-cooled system, and I will utilize that and kind of start pushing the limits. See where what I can squeeze out of the machine. Once I'm satisfied that we are where we can get to, in the end, I'll be moving everything over into a Thermaltake Tower 900, which I have, and it'll all be hard tube, clear hard tube bent, and I'm really looking forward to that project as well. So there will be more things than just gaming content on the channel. My daughter is very interested in video gaming as well, so from time to time she may have some stuff on here. And if you guys have any kind of recommendations of stuff you'd like to see, obviously, let me know. Like I said, I really want this to be a relationship between all of us here. So I hope that this has served its purpose as far as letting you know where the channel is probably going to go. There's always a chance that, things could change, and but this is the idea. This is where the channel's going, and I really, really look forward to you guys coming along with me. Have a great night.